For as long as most folks could remember, Black Hollow had one radio station, Hollow 95.5. And if you were awake after midnight, the voice keeping you company belonged to Nick Hemus. Nick had worked the late shift for years. Being alone never bothered him, until a few weeks ago. It started small, footsteps in an empty hallway, doors Nick knew he'd closed, standing open. He'd go check. Nothing. Nick brushed it off. Then one night, Nick put on a song and stepped down the hall to use the restroom. He was gone maybe 2 minutes. When he came back, his desk was torn apart, coffee spilled everywhere, papers scattered across the floor, his chair overturned. Nick searched the station. Nobody. Every outside door still locked. That was enough. The next night, Nick called Darkness Debunkers Paranormal. Carla and Debbie. They'd spent years investigating hauntings, and usually they found an explanation. Bad wiring, old pipes, animals in the walls. Things that sound a whole lot scarier at 2 in the morning than they do in daylight. They set their cameras and waited. Hour after hour, nothing. By sunrise, it looked like another bust. Then Debbie checked the footage. She stopped, rewound, paused. Earlier that night, one of their cameras had caught Carla and Debbie standing together in the back room. They were alone. At least, they thought they were. In the darkest corner of the room, just a few feet behind them, stood the silhouette of a man. No face, no features, just a dark human shape, standing perfectly still. Carla and Debbie never saw it. Nick never saw it. And nobody else had been inside that station. They watched it again. Nobody had an explanation, and for once, neither did the Darkness Debunkers. Carla and Debbie packed their equipment and left Hollow 95.5, more than a little shaken. The next night, Nick was back on the air. Mercer was out on patrol, listening to Hollow 95.5. A song ended. Then, silence. Mercer waited. Nothing. So he headed to the station to investigate. When he arrived, the lights were on. The front door, unlocked. He stepped inside. Mercer made his way toward the booth. The microphone was live. Headphones on the desk. Coffee still warm. But Nick was nowhere to be found. Then, the lights flickered. Mercer heard something behind him. He turned. Nick came charging out of the darkness, wild-eyed, full of rage. Mercer drew his revolver and cracked Nick across the head with the butt of it. Nick hit the floor. Then Mercer saw it. Black mist rising from Nick's body, twisting, taking shape. And for just a second, it looked like a man. The same dark shape Carla and Debbie had caught on camera. Then, it vanished. A few seconds later, Nick started coming around, dazed, confused, with no idea how he'd ended up on the floor. Mercer holstered his revolver, looked down at him, and said,
"Must have played something it didn't like."